The Royal Rumblings have settled and the road to WrestleMania is officially being paved. Guitars are being smashed, matches are being set, and a man is looking at himself in the mirror, and it's definitely not me.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
From the land of the lost, trans-Canada cross, patriotic and a honor with my hand on my heart. From the greatest
I think I like this.
I like it. To the rockiest mountains and everything in between.
What was the Black Power fist?
No, it's just a fist. It's not necessarily. I mean, yes, I support that, but it's just a fist. It's just a fist. Like, you know, that's all it is. Well, apparently there's a song from Canada, and TK chose it.
His name is Classified. He's had 15 albums out. I understand y'all don't know who the hell he is, but I just felt like
I like it.
Playing a song that has to do with Canada. For you guys who don't know me, I am from Canada, so that's why I played it.
Anything to do with tonight at all, or just the fact that?
No, I was at CrossFit this morning and the song came up, and I was like, "Hey, who's that person?" And then I was like, "Oh, I should play this on Raw."
So there you go.
Yeah.
To support Canada.
Yeah. Shout out to
your home
CrossFit.
country.
6'8".
Welcome everybody. This is the Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV. We have a full squad for the first time ever. Not for the first time ever, like a full squad.
I've been around.
We have. It's true.
I'll take it. Yeah.
TK's been holding that ship together. No, first time that we've had this specific squad. So let's get right into it. Jonny here with you. Good to see you all, and good to have you all listening. I'm at Jay Quasso on all social media. I'm gonna save the queen of the show for last. We're gonna move to our brand new friends over here on the opposite side. They are both the hosts of the Something to Wrestle With After Show, which you can watch right here on AfterBuzz TV on Sundays. The other gentleman is a film critic. You can see all his work on RealTalker.com. Follow him at the Jim Alexander. He's got to be the Jim Alexander.
It would be like The Rock, just a lesser version for sure.
Okay. All right.
That's up there.
And the other man is a very talented stand-up comedian, also on the Something to Wrestle With After Show. His album, American for Now. Find him at Flobito. He's Flobo Boyce.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the show. Appreciate
What's happening, man?
We're good, man. We're good.
All
Great.
right.
Yeah,
So let's this show is really loose. I don't know if you guys have watched it before.
Yeah.
What we do is we don't go step by step after the Raw After Show because there's 3+ hours. No.
Yeah.
What we do is we find the main talking points because that's what everyone wants to know about anyway. And there was a lot of talking points tonight. TK, first off, I'm going to introduce you. She can be seen all the time on VH1. You can find her anywhere where money's being made. I don't know if that means like a printing factory or something, but it's possible.
Hey, they pay me enough, I'll be there.
That's right. Follow her at TK Trinidad. She's Canada's own TK Trinidad.
What's up, folks?
So, hey, what do you think of... I actually, this Raw was kind of incredible, I think.
Besides the ending,
Yeah, the ending.
let's call that.
What was wrong with the ending?
Yeah, what was wrong with the ending?
disappeared.
They
I agree
it
with
was
you.
so abrupt, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they were supposed to announce something, and then he just beats him down, and it's over. They just cut away as
It's a new
if
show.
you just wait another 5 minutes. Like, is this coming back? Like, why are the credits rolling? It was so abrupt, and then they announced that this match is set. It didn't seem apparent from watching Raw that.
They announced the match afterwards?
Yeah, the WWE app pushed notification to all mobile users saying it's official that Rollins is with Brock. But yeah, if you were just watching the show itself, it wasn't explicitly stated.
No.
But that aside, though, I actually enjoyed the show. I thought it was a step in the right direction. I haven't been so excited about WrestleMania season this early for this so many years, and I think that is some groundbreaking matches waiting to happen. So.
I'm with you on that. And plus, I kind of like how it ended. Seth Rollins getting F5 17 times. I mean, we didn't need to see the match being announced. We knew at that point when he attacked Lesnar and then he got his receipt for it.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't hoping for that whole Batista deciding between two brands instead of having Daniel Bryan standing there and Brock
was
Lesnar.
weird. Yeah, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan were backstage, and I was expecting them to hit That's the only thing. I was like, wait, were they supposed to be in
Total
the
red herring.
ring?
Total red herring, right?
So I do like the fact that after a pay-per-view, it was actually entertaining because usually after a pay-per-view, it's just kind of like blah. And according to Bosa, the GM of the AfterBuzz chat for wrestling, he said that Vince didn't complete writing the script or what the outline was until like 45 minutes before the show started.
What?
According to Bosa, which is
how does
according
he
to
know?
no, he I was trying to write it down, my pen didn't work.
Okay.
But he was, I think it was Sean from Fightful.com. Like he quoted wrestling source, and Fightful Sean is actually a really good really good source because I send him my press releases for Women's Wrestling Weekly, which you can start checking out on Wednesdays.
So you're saying that it was hard to predict how long the show would run.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Pencils down. No, girl, no.
But I didn't.
Maybe that's why they abruptly cut it off at the end.
Maybe he's like, I'm done.
I guess
I can't do
all
anymore.
works out.
But I did like. Concerning it is after a pay-per-view, it was quite entertaining, and I enjoyed Royal Rumble a lot too. Because the last couple pay-per-views were just like, okay.
The funny thing is, the internet was all about, everything was so predictable at the Rumble, but predictable isn't always bad. I mean, let's be honest. Rollins, maybe he wasn't like a super exciting, shocking choice, but who has been more consistent over the past year than him?
They've been building him for a year. That's been their poster child, in a sense, for the push all year long and the promos that he was giving. Like, I couldn't think of anyone else that they consistently throughout a year pushed to this point without really having any drawbacks.
Yeah.
And their kind of hands were tied. As much as I love SmackDown, they focus way too much on parity, that anyone can beat anyone on any given SmackDown, to the point where you didn't think a favor would have come from SmackDown at all. I almost felt like
In the men's match,
in the men's Royal Rumble, I kind of felt like, okay, it's going to be a Raw person, and who does deserve it more than Seth Rollins?
To be honest, I would have been perfectly okay if Andrade would have won. I understand story-wise, it wouldn't have made a lot of sense, but who's been better in the ring than him over the past couple of months?
I'm an Andrade fan.
I'm definitely. Yeah.
Idolo.
But yeah, Rollins definitely made sense for sure. Now let's go to top story without a doubt. If people were wondering who deserves to be in the actual main event, meaning closing out the show, meaning going last on the card, all it took was 3 minutes and a microphone, and I think Ronda and Becky proved that tonight. WWE about a month ago when the whole McMahon family came out and they said, we're going to give you what you want now. I think it's pretty obvious what the people want, and if you ask me, Ronda and Becky just gave us something that we haven't seen in quite some time as far as you want real emotion? Damn.
Right.
Well, I think people want Becky. I think people are tired of Ronda, meaning that
I disagree.
With the whole, there's a couple things that came out. The couple things was that I forgot who it was, but I think last week they were saying that Ronda was planning on having a baby and her contract's like up at a certain time, so that's why she got the belt so quickly.
Maybe. But she's earned it. I mean, she's proved her worth.
Yeah,
She's proved her. Are you
one of the
kidding me?
biggest signings in the longest time.
Just look at her last 24 hours. Her and Sasha knocked it out of the park. And then tonight, her and Bayley knocked it out of the park.
I think she could have done that without the belt. I've said that. I've said that time.
She's like Lesnar. She won't come there to just be without a belt. You need to legitimize her that way. That she's so.
We all knew she was gonna get the belt early because of who she was and all this other stuff. But my thing is, to me, it would have. It was more marketing why they did that. To me, if they did the road less traveled where they made her earn the belt and you see her coming up, like she's definitely improved. And even after her first match, I said publicly, is like, look, I get it. I read her book, like I know she's a hard worker, and I was like, okay, there's no way, that you would have failed at it. You're going to continue getting better at it. However, I feel that she could have done all that stuff without the belt, and it still would have drawn her attention.
I kind of agree with the both of you. I felt like I was going into this weekend, I was a little bit bored of Ronda, and I felt that
What the hell's wrong with you people?
Because you know she's not gonna lose.
She just showed up a year ago. She's the most decorated MMA superstar of all time.
You know she's not gonna lose.
She has been a rocket ship of improvement over the past year. How are people sick of Ronda? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not saying sick.
You did. You said people are sick of Ronda.
No, I'm saying that when she went into both matches, did you think that she was gonna lose?
When?
Did you think she was gonna lose tonight?
No.
Did you think she was gonna lose at Royal Rumble?
No, and that's fine.
No, and we knew that, and it's fine.
Did you think
I don't
Lesnar
like
was
that.
gonna lose?
That's why I'm saying I don't like knowing. And I like almost the element of surprise. If you already know that she's not going to lose her belt, then the fight's less interesting.
Then you would have hated watching Hulk Hogan 25 years ago.
You really?
Jesus.
But we are in a different era now. Come to 2019. We are currently in 2019.
She needs to have the title for Mania. It's just simple as that. You can't have her drop the title before WrestleMania and then try to work to get it back.
She's not going to drop the title. That's
And first off, Haywood Wong
we
in
don't know
chat
that.
for saying I'm sipping Ronda Kool-Aid. Are you not watching what she's been doing? Are you kidding? She has been incredible in the ring, regardless of who she's been working with, and her mic skills have also been way better than most people have expected.
I totally agree with you, although she flubbed a couple times today, but it is what it is. Everybody's human. I totally agree with you.
Right.
She's great. She's improved all this other stuff. She can't drop the belt before WrestleMania because she's the main draw because she's going to bring in people who don't watch
But
Raw
so
and
is
SmackDown
Becky.
all of a sudden.
That's why I'm saying.
Not necessarily. Like Becky, I agree. Like, sorry, I agree, but people don't know people only know Becky from wrestling. People know
Sure,
Ronda
right.
beyond,
Of course.
UFC, beyond wrestling.
But
Also,
then
she's a house of-
together
Sure.
is
Yeah.
a main event. Look, and
I still don't think it's a main event at Mania. If
I
that's your main event,
completely disagree.
then that means your rest of the card isn't strong. I think it could be
no
a cult-
way.
No,
Not
I don't,
even
I don't agree with
close.
that. Being a woman,
Why
I
not?
don't even agree with that. That's
Did you hear the reaction that Becca and Ronnie got tonight? Okay, name one reaction in the past 6 months that's been stronger than
That
what
re-
Becca and
that
Ronnie
reaction
got
was
tonight?
very
Agreed,
priceless.
but that just shows how there's no stars on the rest of the roster. Like there's no legitimate, there's no Cena's right now. There's nobody. Roman's gone. They can't build a star right now, so everyone's kind of almost upper end mid-level guy.
Here's what I was going to say.
Tell me who stands out
10
there.
minutes ago.
One
Here's
guy
what
does
I
not
was
stand
going to say. I was a little bit bored with Ronda. I thought Becky was strong, but I didn't like the way she was booked in the Royal Rumble, tapping out to Asuka clean,
Right.
and then begging to go into the Rumble with Finlay being the gatekeeper. However,
I
That
kind of
wasn't
like that
done
though. I liked
that
it.
promo
Shane
to
should
Jay
have came
though,
out and let her go or something.
Right, that promo tonight though made me realize I would pay to see that.
But then Ronda
That's what I'm
followed
saying.
it up perfectly.
Right,
Really
I
well.
really think we work together. I would give him the main event. I think it's time because I can't.
What if she leaves? What if Ronda leaves? What do you do then?
Then it's
You're gonna
after
still
the-
give her the
it's
main
after-
event for
after
someone that's
Mania?
leaving?
Well,
do you
with
mean?
Goldberg and
What if she's
Brock
leaving after
Lesnar did
Mania?
WrestleMania 20 to
Which is
give
the
him
rumor.
a side main
Yeah.
event, and
Well, how did that turn out?
it wasn't
That was a
that good,
disaster.
But what I'm saying
Right,
is
well,
these guys can have a better match.
to
I really
follow-
think they're a way better thing.
To follow your point, though, about how the main event means, if they're the main event, it means the card isn't strong. Look at last year's main event. You had Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. They got booed out of the building.
Well, yeah, because that was a repeat.
But they
People
still
had
put it as the
seen that
main
already.
event. This is a match people want to see. And judging by the reaction tonight, you can't deny that. You have Becky Lynch, who's on fire. She's the female Stone
for
Cold,
real.
if you want to
They
call
made
it.
a mistake tonight with Rollins and Lesnar. If it was Daniel Bryan Rollins, that's main event worthy for sure. That is a main event that you can book and everyone would be
Mania,
salivating for.
That's backlash. Really.
I would like to agree with you, but I mean, the crowd didn't even like AJ and Daniel Bryan last night for some reason, and they were
Because it's been
phenomenal.
redundant. They've been going at it
That's
for
a
a
whole
few months
different
already.
reason. That's right after the Rumble.
Here's the
but-
thing. Mania is about conclusion to stories. Right now, Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins have no story. Yes, they have a long history, but most WWE fans have no clue what they did in Ring of Honor. That's just the fact.
Right.
And so you look at Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch right now, and this has nothing to do with the fact they were women. I know, WWE is like, if they're going to main event WrestleMania, women are going to do it. It's not about that. To me, whether you're a man or a woman, what's the hottest story?
The longest.
What do fans want the most? What's the longest running thing? What will get the biggest reaction?
Mm-hmm.
And you find me a match that's going to get a better reaction right now than Ronda and Becky. And maybe it'll happen over the next 2 months, but
I think Ronda's status is a huge factor in this too. If she leaves, then this is kind of a waste. It's a one-off then. But if she stays around and there's a continuation to this, then I guess you can make a case for this. But if she's just about to leave right after WrestleMania and drop that title,
I don't think she will.
I don't think that you put all the eggs in one basket
Right.
for that.
Well, according to Bosa, shout out to Bosa, I believe she has like a 3-year contract. And the thing is, she's mentioned on several interviews and also on TMZ Sports, all this other stuff, that she wants to get pregnant. You can't just decide to get pregnant like right after WrestleMania.
Right.
So she might not do like live events and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, they might, figure out a way for her to drop the belt. But again, after that report came out, WWE came out and said that that's not gonna happen, and we don't know. But she's gonna have to drop the belt eventually. Like she can't
Yeah,
have the belt
of
for
course.
years. And
Well, she's going to drop it to Becky. I think that's pretty obvious.
I hope so.
We'll see.
We'll see. Something we can see. Hey guys, before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you are on YouTube right now, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you are on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Do you read the comments? No.
Generally,
Being
no.
a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us in doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our show. So shout out to Bosa.
Yeah.
Evan T. Mack is in the chat. I
Yo.
see you. Haywood Wong.
Mac Stack.
Anissa Barr is in the chat.
Anissa
Zeno
Barr.
Hour.
Coco Cena in the house.
Yeah, y'all, we
Coco
really,
Cena.
really appreciate it. I sometimes read the comments. I'm not even going to lie.
Well,
but
generally reading comments, it's almost like you want to torture yourself. So I try not to do that mostly, but I do appreciate all the comments.
Thank you, Orlando, for telling me.
So before we
calming the
move
room
on,
down, appreciate it.
yes or no? I'm going to go down the line here.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Do Ronda and Becky have a chance of actually headlining going on last at WrestleMania?
They have a chance, but I don't agree with it.
Okay.
The time is now. I say yes.
Oh, for sure. They've been hyping up the women's revolution. They had Evolution. It's a big thing. They've been talking about it all the time. You have the Diva Search coming out. You had Stephanie McMahon saying that she wants the equal amount of men and women on both rosters. Like, it behoove them to capitalize on it, even though they weren't necessarily the ones to start the women's revolution as far as wrestling is concerned.
Becky's hot. Ronda's hot. I mean, well, they're hot as a popularity. Ronda has a household name thing going for her.
Wait. So you don't think Becky?
I do
didn't
think
want
Becky's
I didn't want to
hot.
objectify them. I'm saying that's a hot angle. I was
Speaking of
saying,
objectified, we can do the boudoir right now.
Oh, do you want to do it?
He's like, what is going on right now?
I'm joining it.
So I think
It's now time for TK's Boudoir
I think all
with TK Trinidad.
I think all the women look fire today, and even from Royal Rumble, I appreciated, like, they're just always on point. The dudes,
Oh, the Glam Squad.
the Glam Squad for
right.
sure. The dudes definitely we're gonna stick. I feel like it's been a while, but we really did a show last week. It feels so much longer.
did.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, I just lost his name, but I could see his butt.
Now you're gonna make me guess the
Look
butt.
like? I don't know.
Is it Shane McMahon?
Brown.
Elias.
No.
Lashley.
Yes, Lashley. I could see his butt. I couldn't think of his
Well,
name.
it's hard to miss that butt.
Yes, so shout out to Bobby
What you
Lashley.
gonna do with that butt?
And Leo Rush. Leo Rush took the shirt off,
did.
laid it down. They're both, physical specimens.
Chocolate
so
brothers.
kudos to that. And then also shout out to Ronda and Becky. Becky's looking fire with her outfits, all that stuff in her
Yeah.
hair and the braids. Ronda, I mean, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes I like her outfits, sometimes I don't, but I could appreciate, girl
So,
power.
so you mentioned the Glam Squad. Any specific women besides them? The whole crew you're saying tonight was just.
Oh, the whole crew's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, women are. See, I don't think what you guys understand. Like, you guys just put on the trunks and you just, glisten
We
up
are.
or whatever.
I
No
mean,
sequins.
They are.
They
No
are.
tassels.
Yeah,
Looking
but
all
women,
plain.
like, you put the makeup on, you have the hair
Yeah.
extensions, you have two pieces, you have to make sure stuff doesn't fall out. It's a lot of work
It's
to
all
do
day.
all that. So
I
you have to
know.
appreciate.
I have a friend in the Glam Squad. She works real hard.
Yeah, it's and they keep the lashes on because there's nothing worse than having one lash on, one lash. It's just so shout out to the whole team and the Glam Squad for keeping those women in check and like looking
Shout out for
gorgeous.
lashes too. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's right.
Shout out to lashes.
So, the other possible
Lashes
main
and
event
Lashley.
that we had already mentioned, Rollins and Brock. So, ending was strange, a lot of F5s. You mentioned, obviously Rollins and Daniel Bryan would be an incredible match, but let's be real here. No one knows the future of Brock Lesnar. Is he supposedly going to fight again?
He's never going to leave. I mean, how many times have we heard Lesnar's on his way out and then he's back and
Right.
he's staying? It's been 3 years of this constant. He's leaving after WrestleMania and then he teases a UFC thing or whatever and he's back.
I think he's enjoying himself.
Yeah,
If you look
he's
at
got a great deal and he's got like no dates that he's working basically all year long. Why wouldn't he stay for another decade?
Why? Yeah, that's totally agree with
The
you.
one thing that Brock proved last night at the Royal Rumble is that he can still tell a story. And you have a guy that large.
Oh, man.
And let's say he drops the title. Where do you put him? Main event? Or like opening a random Raw? No. I mean, you've got a guy in the main event scene. You use him as much as you can.
You can argue the two people on the card that sold better than anyone were Lesnar and Ronda.
Yeah.
I mean, when Ronda punched that post, you saw that the rest of the match. And Lesnar got his ass handed to him by Finn Balor.
He did. He
That
did.
just goes to show you, man, he's playing ball.
Right. And I have to give him props for that.
But wouldn't you play ball too if you only have to work every 3 months?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but here's the thing. Finn Balor is kind of the loser in all this, and he shouldn't be because now he doesn't have a clear path to a
Again.
top-notch main event match at WrestleMania after this performance. That's what I was worried coming into this Rumble because Finn Balor could have been a guy that genuinely could have won the Rumble, and that was his opportunity to give him that push. But since he had that match, it was kind of like a throwaway in that sense. Now, what happens to him going forward?
Well, I
like
agree.
Lashley.
'Cause, yeah, Lashley. So here's a guy that challenged for the Universal title, almost beat Brock Lesnar to the point of actually winning the belt, and the next day he's feuding with Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley.
And there's nothing
his
wrong with
butt.
that.
And his butt.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all.
I
just
love
feel-
Lashley and I love Finn, but right now you just got to go with stories, and Finn's not in a story. He wasn't in a story before 2 weeks ago.
Sure, but the next day? I would, have.
Well, I mean, I think it's almost like an in between. So you're gonna see Finn and Lashley go at it,
hopefully,
and then I like I said last week, I wish the best for Lashley, but I don't see him holding the belt for a long period of time.
No,
so
because I want to see him move up. I want to see. I'd be cool.
Like I said, I want him to see him move up too, but this is not gonna happen.
I feel Finn should be in a triple threat. I think they should make that a triple threat with Lesnar and Rollins.
And Finn?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be an incredible match.
Yeah.
I think you would have different styles. You'd have that Finn versus Brock still thing continuing, and you add Rollins to the mix. I think that's a better option.
String blazer, everybody.
But then, but then you have to worry about, the whole, like, what do you win the Rumble for? Then you're just going to add another person in the match. It's going to be, so there's that whole argument. Not that the consistency seems to matter anymore these days, but I see your point there.
They've done it before.
And then also shout out to Evan T. Mac in the chat, which I already did before. However, this is taking note why I'm saying that Lashley probably won't have the belt for a long period of time and he probably won't move up is because during the Royal Rumble, there were no more than 2 black men at one time in the Royal Rumble.
At the same time.
At the same time. And none of them lasted longer than 5 minutes.
Damn.
Wow.
Poor Apollo, man. I have his merch. I'm a big fan.
Apollo lasted a little.
Black man purgatory.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to think, and I see your point, I would like to think, let's say Finn and Lashley, they feud up to WrestleMania. Let's say Finn gets the IC title, which I believe would be the first time in his career. Then I would like to see Lashley move up to the main title picture because it's long overdue, in my opinion. He's
agree.
not getting any younger, and somehow he still looks like he's perfect.
I gotta be honest with you. Lashley has the size, he has the strength, the power, but there's just something missing. The X factors. I don't.
He just
quite
doesn't
see
have
it.
that persona. Leo Rush is helping with the mic skills for him and doing that work, but Lashley is just too bland. He's got the look, but just something about him that's boring.
Well, that's why I think the addition of Leo Rush is great because you could say
Yeah,
almost the same thing about Brock Lesnar. Not necessarily they're on the same level, but it's just like if Brock Lesnar was the one who was talking for himself, then it'd be like,
Here's the
I'm not
problem,
really feeling
though.
this.
I wish Lashley would also talk because if anyone watched his work before he came back to WWE, he was really at his best. He was talking quite a bit. He was incredibly obnoxious, and the character was better than everybody else.
He needs to be a heel to do that, though.
Of course.
Right.
Which he is right now. My point is, though, Leo Rush doesn't have to do all the talking.
Yeah.
I would like to see Lashley get on the mic, too.
But my remedy for Lashley in this case is to give him a longer term feud with someone to show him that progression of character. I feel like all of his angles since coming back have been a month, maybe 6 weeks, and
Or
then
less.
and they move on. And it's like, well, you
Lots.
can't get behind either one,
You are correct on that one. But, yeah, it looks like Finn and Lashley are going to at least do something maybe leading up to Chamber, but then again, there's I mean, we're 2 months away, essentially, from everything. So let's get into Elias. What the hell? I mean, a decision was made. Elias doesn't like the people anymore, just like he used to, and now he's only going to play with himself. And
Thank goodness.
you know what? You give me a Road Dogg, and you give me a Double J, and that's going to be a fun segment, and it sure as hell was.
right?
So
No cake quicks needed.
no. So Elias is back to. What do you think was the reason for the quick switch? I mean, Elias was only essentially a fan favorite for about 6 weeks, 2 months, and now
That's
boom.
6 weeks, 2 months too long. Like, he was just not cut out. It's like putting Orton as a face. It just doesn't work. It's not natural.
Or the Miz in a way.
Yeah, or in Miz in that same way, too. Although Miz is on TV a lot, so we can kind of move him into he's in the spotlight a lot outside of wrestling. But with Elias, that's just such a heel character in every sense. And for him to start getting cheered, it was flat. And I don't think you could see it in him. I don't think he enjoyed it himself.
No.
He turned face to feud with Lashley for 6 weeks, right? That was, cause I feel like it was the whole
It's
Leo
Lashley
Rush.
6 weeks, right?
Come get this child
To
thing.
prove
with
your
Leo.
point, yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. Well,
Yeah, but wasn't that almost like a natural progression? Like he started, pretty much tearing down the audience, and he continued tearing down the audience, and then the audience started loving it. It's almost like an abuse, like somebody
Like the angle thing, that you suck, right?
Yeah. So
In a
it's
way.
just like people started liking it, and then I think people still like. Either way, he's getting a pop.
Yes.
So it's just like now it's just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna insult you guys some more, and they're like, yeah, give me more. Like it's almost like.
Well, because you
R. Kelly.
heard him tonight, they were chanting, "We're not worthy."
yeah.
When he was about to sing. So you're absolutely right, TK. I mean, bottom line is no matter what Elias does, people are going to cheer for him. But the fact is, he's just way more entertaining when he's cutting the crowd down because he has the ability to deliver things in such a dry fashion.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
So I think it's kind of a cool turn. Now, to have the whole Road Dogg and Double J thing, I mean, that was just fun.
That
Classic.
is fun. Somebody's gonna have fun. Jonelle Jackson. I'm terrible with names, but shout out. He's having a birthday and he's going to SmackDown Live tomorrow. So shout out to you.
Hey,
I'm always about the birthdays, so you know.
Do you live in Phoenix, Jonelle? I assume you do. If you do, I hope you had a good weekend because there was a lot going on. So yeah, Elias, we'll see. The question is, what last year at WrestleMania wasn't his thing. Like he performed. Or, do you think
Didn't he have something with
Did he do it with The Rock?
Cena? No.
I don't know.
Didn't he have something coming up with Cena last year?
Yeah, I forgot.
I've seen him take it last year.
He definitely did a performance.
Okay.
Do you think Elias will ever have a longer term program with anyone, or is it just too charactery with the concerts and the guitar and everything?
I'm feeling the guitar because it's kind of part of him. Like
Jeff Jarrett felt it too twice.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm feeling the whole guitar thing. But like somebody said in the chat, like as much as he practices guitar, he should practice wrestling. Not to say he can't wrestle, but they should give him opportunities to actually wrestle. But the fact he's getting on the air almost every week, which is better than we could say for like somebody like Zack Ryder, which we haven't seen.
Well, he's not even that
He
category.
was tonight, yeah.
Drop the guitar. Eventually, I think this is a good move to turn him heel. And the next thing's drop the guitar and take that away from him and let him just be a heel. I think you will see him shine in that way. Once the guitars go away, I think it's almost a crutch in a way.
Yeah, I see
for
your
him.
point.
I think he's got a lot more to offer that we haven't seen yet.
And he's such the guy is so strong and massive. Like, he could just get a mean streak in him, and you're right, just get rid of the guitar. Granted, it's a good weapon to use. But yeah, I mean, I think the
gimmick,
guy
change it up.
He's got everything, so let's see what he can do.
That gimmick's not even like a year old, isn't it? Has it been longer than that?
I think it's been longer than a year. Maybe not it was 2 years.
Yeah.
But he's been longer than a year.
But
I just feel like if he drops the guitar, like obviously everybody has to change in order to be relevant. But I feel like if he drops the guitar, then he's gonna go back into that locker room, like we might see him once in a while type thing. And
Or he has a mean streak like Drew McIntyre and just completely starts demolishing people and attacking people in that way. I think that could work for him.
I could see that. I just don't. The roster's so big now that I feel like if he drops the guitar, we're not gonna see him for a minute.
I think that's fair. I think because they could just do the strum and say, come back, you'll be right back after this, and we'll stick around a commercial break to wait for Elias to show up. That's a lot to say,
Yeah.
For a brand.
either way, I mean, after the Rumble, there's so many questions, and that's the beautiful thing leading up to WrestleMania. What's Elias going to do? There's only so many people that can be on the card. You got to believe Elias will be a part of it, though, just because he has all those extra intangibles. The women's tournament is now officially underway. Riot Squad moves on, and Tamina and Nia Jax move on. I'm not quite sure. Did you guys see the layout of the tournament? Like, how many teams are going to be actually...
3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown, and Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So we're talking a massive Elimination Chamber with 12. Oh, my God.
With 6 tag teams, and the winners will be the first ever.
And they're going to be... Okay, so the Elimination Chamber with 12 women.
Yeah.
Good God almighty. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's a filled up chamber.
You want to be in?
No, I wouldn't. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like that much metal and steel and chains. I'm like, what do you think?
Nia Jax
You don't
continues
like
to
the
dominate their
No, I
work.
don't. No, not a big fan.
Oh, that's not what I heard.
I'll referee. Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Yeah. So yeah, we got Tamina and Nia Jax move on, and the Riot Squad move on, and so yeah, Elimination Chamber. So we're gonna have 3 Elimination Chamber matches then.
No, I think it's the women's match. It's a women's tag team match, and I'm not sure what the men's match is going to be. If it's going to be Raw or SmackDown. But I mean, how do you feel about Nia Jax one day removed from her Royal Rumble appearance, continuing to bruise and attack,
Punking out Ambrose.
Yeah, after him losing his feud with Seth, it was bizarre, wasn't it?
Not a good look for Ambrose, man. He does the whole, massive turn on the worst night ever when Roman, makes the announcement
Which
about
is
leukemia.
still perfect, kind of.
It-
And then shout out
story-
to Roman and The Rock. They were in like a movie or a TV show.
Yes.
Which, shout out to them.
You're right. Story-wise, it was perfect, but now I don't know what's been happening since. It's like he lost to Seth, and I understand why. But then getting punked out by Nia, it's like, is he going to go completely crazy and start?
Here's the problem. I think some of these guys we're talking about that can't find a place, and this is bad timing because it's road to WrestleMania. They need a jump to the different roster, to SmackDown. Like, Dean Ambrose needs a jump to SmackDown, I feel. So could Finn Balor in a lot of ways. I think there's more feuds for him on a different brand. And right now they're kind of stuck and lost heading into WrestleMania, and they might end up on a lower level, kind of lower tier part of the card.
I mean, to be honest, you know where he'd fit in perfectly right now is if you wanted to go down and fight Ciampa. But
Yeah, I agree. Because I was going to say, like, the WWE has that luxury or crutch or whatever you want to say of saying we have that second brand, but you had the shakeup, what, 9 months ago, and the rosters are already stale? Like, that's a problem. You have Dean Ambrose in arguably the best shape of his life. He's super sold a curb stomp today. Gets hit in the back of the head from Nia
great.
and disappears like a video game boss. Like,
and I
what
wanted to
happened?
hear what he had to say in that chair, and then Nia, interrupted him.
Yeah, it was just bizarre. It was bizarre.
It was.
Are they prepping more for, like, instead of having the mixed match challenge,
Intergender?
having it part of the show?
One giant
Is that a
rumble.
WrestleMania match? Maybe Nia versus Dean?
That would be kind of
That'd be interesting, actually.
Nia versus somebody.
If they did that. That'd be like a first time ever. That'd be a lot of thing they can publicize and make a big deal
That will
out of.
definitely be social media. Where
Yeah.
And they'll give controversy too for it,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
In 2019, when
Yes.
everything's a trigger, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I mean, intergender wrestling has happened for quite a long time.
And Nia could hang, that's for sure.
Of course. And
we know that.
Lucha Underground's been doing it. Now, granted,
Yeah.
they're a television show, not a wrestling promotion, but they have
Still
had
wrestling.
Right. They've had incredible intergender wrestling for the entire run of the show.
Sure.
So, hey.
That would be awesome. I'm here for that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be
And maybe
something
that's what
fresh
they're
and new.
setting up for.
Yeah, could be.
Otherwise, I'm not quite sure why she would punk him out like that.
Why not?
Throw him out of the ring.
I'd punk them out too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Imagine a promo from a lunatic.
We saw Kurt Angle in action.
Yes.
Which it's we need to appreciate. I understand he lost to Corbin. I understand it wasn't a long match. We need to appreciate that this man just turned 50 years old.
Yep.
And still brought it in the ring and had a really solid match. And I'd like to believe this is not the end of it. I want Kurt Angle to be, victorious at some point. So hopefully this could become
A redemption storyline. He's lost
Yeah.
twice in a row, and he's going to have to prove something at WrestleMania or he retires. This is a perfect angle for him, for Angle, to work. Going into Mania, he's going to, depends who. They might throw in a way, shouldn't be Corbin probably, but have him say that if I don't win whatever match at Mania, I'm done forever, and have him do that. And he can win and retire, but this could set up, hey, I've been losing. Like Cena did that one losing streak
Right.
with the WrestleMania thing, and if I don't win, that sort of thing. This is Angle's chance to do that. He's lost, and he's got something to prove. I think they can build it into a storyline totally.
Two-time Hall of Famer, something to prove. I mean, that's a hard sell for me. It has to be something bigger.
Aging Hall of Famer, though. One that's been away for a while.
Ages? I'm just messing with you. I'm not for it. Reason being is that it's just like I want to be everything to be in that waiting room, but it's like I'm wondering what they're thinking. So he was the manager, he went on vacation, now he's back, now he's wrestling, which is fine, I guess. But again, I think for me, there's just so many great talents in the locker room that we didn't even get to see today that he's taking away from, because we know what Angle could do. We've seen his resume. He could do other things other than doing that. And
But
I
it's
feel like
WrestleMania, and you need names. What are the big names? They always bring in big names from the past for WrestleMania to do a match. Who are the big names? You're not going to probably get The Rock.
Well, he did tweet Becky Lynch today. Did you see that?
Batista, maybe. Like every year we have someone. We don't know about Triple H. What about Triple H versus Dean? How about that?
Yeah, I think Anissa Barnes said that.
his pec is still recovering. It's going to be a close call as far as being healthy, I think. But I think part of the reason that Angle maybe ran into kind of like floating around a little bit is, don't forget, I think it was leading towards like him versus Corbin for control of Raw, but then the McMahon family made that kind of like, I don't want to say a snap decision, but a fairly quick decision to say, oh, let's do the State of the Union on Raw and let's change things up, because people are just getting really upset with everything.
Yeah,
Right.
and Cole buried him for that on air and was like, "Don't ever. Thanks to Corbin."
So I kind of feel like that was made, that decision, and then all of a sudden the whole Angle, Corbin, whatever that may have been, is kind of backburnery.
Right.
But with that said, you would like to see Kurt Angle be a part of WrestleMania somehow.
Yeah,
I
there's a reason for this that it happened.
Yeah,
there's
they're
got to be
obviously
seeds
angling for
planted.
something,
Yeah.
but it's just
So I
not
think
here
it
for
was a storyline split. So you had Angle on that redemption track, and then you established Corbin as someone formidable for his alliance with Drew McIntyre later on in the evening, right? When we saw him dismantling Braun Strowman. And that weird, like, I'm a psychopath, I'm solo, but I have a new best friend. His name is Baron Corbin, the guy with the vests and the dress pants. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've kind of teamed up before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they've worked
was
before.
anyone asking for that, though? Like now? Because he was off TV, Corbin was. shows up at the Rumble, and then they reestablish this. So to me, I think it's a new chapter. No.
Yeah, it's interesting. Corbin is keeping the same attire as well, considering he's no longer a constable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 'Cause
Right.
when that happened, say if you hadn't seen Corbin for the last 4 weeks, would you have noticed him gone? Like, I feel like, okay, the McMahon family said we're taking over control of everything because you guys have been, like, essentially complaining, and we're gonna redo everything. We're laying off Paige, but she's still at WWE, all this other stuff. Like, we get it, but it's just like, again, if he goes away for a little bit, reinvents himself and comes back, I'm here for that, versus you're still wearing the same outfit and you're still vying for a position that you're not going to get because the McMahon family said we're running the show. So the potential of you getting it's not happening anytime soon.
His intro music doesn't even fit that. He's still got the updated, newer, but it just doesn't feel that, the role that he's been doing.
Yeah. I don't know.
The theme song of middle management.
Yeah. Right.
It's the theme from The Office.
Right.
It's just weird.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kurt Angle and Corbin at Mania now, what would the stakes be? Because I don't think the McMahons are going to relinquish control anytime soon, considering they just kind of got back in charge. And tonight we saw, it's like you never know who you're going to see. Tonight we saw Triple H.
Right.
Maybe we'll see Vince tomorrow or Steph or whoever, probably Shane, of course. So I like the unpredictability, but also there's some instability with consistency. Like you mentioned the Fit Finley thing last night. That didn't make sense for Fit to be able to say yes. It should have been like Shane or some power
Unless
play.
they're prepping, like they're almost doing, they're prepping for WrestleMania, but they're also planning for almost like the brand switches.
Well, it comes right after WrestleMania.
After WrestleMania, and maybe they're introducing certain names as far as possible managers. Because I don't see the McMahons doing this whole control thing for the whole year. They did it. The timing that they did it was perfect. It was leading up to the holiday season. We saw the whole Ronda Rousey thing, all that other stuff. So that was all great, and we were interested because I definitely checked out at that period of time. So I see it, but I don't see them doing it past Mania.
Before we move into my honorable mentions of the night, were there any surprises you wish we would have seen in the Rumble? Because the internet always has opinions. I actually like the fact that we didn't get a ton of legends because you have a roster that's so deep. Use the people on your roster.
Agreed.
They're just adding more people to the roster. They're doing a diva search. Where are you putting these divas?
They are?
I don't understand. Yeah. I literally said that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, she mentioned it earlier.
Wow. This is
I'm paying attention to the chat.
Wow.
I'm doing it right now.
TK, I got the chat roll. I'm wearing a lot of hats right now. A lot of hats.
Collective wow.
I drove back from Phoenix at 4 in the morning. We're wearing a lot of hats today.
Here we go.
Have Elias come play.
What else? What's going on?
I agree. We got the one legend in Jeff Jarrett, and that was fun because we always thought that Jeff would not be seen in his old attire and all that. But you're right. When it becomes too legendary, you realize they're not going to win. You're not going to have Tatanka going to the WrestleMania. So it was fun. NXT got some love and some action like that. I was hoping,
men and women, both.
Yeah, both. I was kind of hoping that the Undisputed Era would have came by, but they didn't. But that's still fine.
That's a lot of dudes, man.
Yeah, I'm still fine with that because the ones we did get, Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano and Caitlyn Kazaro were all good. Dana Kazaro was all great. So.
And Rhea was.
And Rhea Ripley, yeah. NXT UK in the house. Oh.
I was so shocked at how many people thought that we were going to see Kenny Omega. It's like, what?
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
You can always throw in your hopes, but
you can throw in your hopes, but a lot of people really thought it was going to happen. I was like, dude, no, that was not.
Unless they were planning to push him like AJ when he returned, when he did that debut at the Rumble, that sort of thing. He couldn't just make an appearance and be eliminated. It had to have been a real storyline, and that would have been a big deal.
Yeah. And like I said, the Rumble may have been predictable, but you know what? Rollins was the right way to go. And there were still some really solid moments as well. Honorable mention for the evening, Mojo in the mirror. I loved it. And I know many people are not a fan of Mojo Rawley, and that's fine.
Apparently, a fan of Mojo Rawley.
Well, Mojo's not a fan of Mojo because he was blaming himself in the mirror, and I loved it. I don't know what it's going to lead to, but I'm here for it right now. I'm
playing Man in the Mirror.
Yeah.
It was fitting. It came after a segment after the Hawkins Ryder reunion because they broke up as
which
a Hypers.
also gets honorable mention. Edgehead's reunion.
Edgehead's. That's right.
For sure. I'm sorry I spoiled that. But
good.
I think it was cool because I was there when he was. I was in San Diego when he was like, "Oh, it's Monday Night Raleigh." When he was like, "Oh man, it's a whole new era." He like beat up No Way Jose and then disappeared. And you're like, "Well, is he still employed?"
We haven't seen No Way Jose either.
Yeah. Well, he was the Rumble for literally a second and a half.
Exactly. Well, it hasn't even been a second and a half for like the whole time he's been on the main roster. Like,
True. Flobo fact, that was actually my random draw to win, so I was a little upset. But yeah, I like the promo. It was kind of a little long into the reveal. We all knew he was talking to a mirror. I mean, it would be kind of random, but it was like somebody else. But I think it was pretty effective, him in all black.
I hope they do something with it, though.
Yeah, he's got the look. Like, he looks like he should be much better than he is. Maybe like that heel, that turn that he goes crazy on everyone, that sort of thing. You could make him legitimize. Just kind of like, you know what they could do? They could do what they did with Jinder when he had that run, the championship run. There was a guy that was not going over at all.
Put him with the Singh brothers?
Well, yeah, that would help. But there was a guy that was not getting over, was just a lower card guy, and then suddenly they gave him a push, and it worked.
Suddenly, or did they go to India?
Well, that helped for sure, but there's a potential there to turn a guy from nothing to something, at least to mid-card level.
No, he's
got the look, at least.
I totally agree, but when with stuff like that, with Jinder and other folks who are don't naturally have a tan, it's just like certain things happen because of certain countries that they're going to.
Definitely.
And like I definitely appreciate Jinder and all the work he put in. He lost a lot of weight. Like he gangstered it and he deserved it.
Oh, sure.
But the timing of it all is questionable. It's like if they didn't go to India, would he have gotten all the love that he did?
No, there's no question. You're right.
No.
Absolutely right on that one. And whatever happens with Mojo, look, it's worth a shot because he's definitely had different opportunities, and it's got to be everything: new gear, new music, new whatever. Just
new beginning, kind of erase him and start over.
I want to ask you this, John. How far? What is the ceiling for a character named Mojo? Honestly,
that's a great point too.
Like I'm not even trying to be funny. I feel like having the world champion Mojo.
But if they change
or
it,
something.
If they change it, it's got to be a self-aware change. You can't just bring him back and call him something different. He's got to be the guy that says, "No, don't call me that anymore."
He's gonna look in the mirror, and the mirror's gonna tell him the name.
I'm not gonna sing it.
That. Yeah,
I will not do that. That's pretty much the show, though. So thank you guys. We're gonna put ourselves over. So Jim, go.
Putting myself over. It's for my first show right here on Raw, so hopefully I'll be here next week to do more. You can check me out at the Jim Alexander on social media.
Flobito.
Yeah, check me out Instagram at Flobito and Flobito.com.
And definitely check out Women's Wrestling Weekly this week. We have a really great guest from ROH, VH1. You just follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can
Wherever the money goes.
Wherever the money goes, I will be there.
And then I'm trying to follow behind. Follow me at Jay Quasto. Follow me at Jay Quasto. Watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every single week worldwide on Fight TV. Next filming is going to be Sunday, February 10th. I'm also going to be in San Francisco at the Punchline February 14th to 16th. And my special is being edited. We're getting there, so just stay tuned for that. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.